I think the way I would describe this is, first I would say absolutely right. Is it way easier for the professional who's doing fire damage assessment documentation to add Matterport than it is a photographer to add the skill set required and the understanding of the safety and the precautions and the
Absolutely.
But the one thing that keeps playing in the back of my mind is, while the bread and butter of insurance claims is typically fire and flood, and yes, wind, hurricane, water damage from major events that take place. When a major event such as a hurricane, or in California fires, what happens is the whole space of the people who document homes for insurance claim documentation get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you might be able to go to your local some of the insurance claims people and say, hey, I just want to raise my hand, let you know that I can, scan. You'll have all your measurements. You'll know what everything is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that fire is the right thing for me, but maybe if you have, you're part of the country where it's flood, and you can get in there quickly, you might be able to pick up a lot of business. I don't mean to be opportunistic. I think that's super helpful for the homeowner, that they could actually get their insurance claim settled faster by having it documented with a Matterport model that gets converted to either the Matterport True Plan or to the essentially the Xactimate. So there's just lots of opportunities with a Matterport Pro3 camera that's probably not possible with the Matterport Pro2 camera. And I'm just guessing on your, correct me if I'm wrong, but on your arson piece, you probably would have felt better with the Pro3, where you could have gotten in and out of that space in half the time, not be concerned about whether you're going to have alignment errors on site.
Oh yeah, and also I don't know about working in, we talked about working in sunlight, but we didn't talk about working in low light, but that would be one of the thoughts. There's not really a space on the camera to place a light very easily.
Yes.
And I think that might be also a reason, like, where even if I had the opportunity to use my Pro3, I mean, who knows, maybe I would say my Pro2 is still better. Plus I've got an aging fleet of Pro2s. Why don't I just use those for these insurance claims? And
yes,
maybe that's actually a better solution in the short term. I don't know, but I know that like companies that I've shown what we can do, they've gone and bought their own cameras too. So there's definitely a bit of like, like, yeah, here's this awesome thing, we can do it. And then, it's easier for them to acquire a camera.
Yeah. So, but that probably kind of teases out two things. One is someplace in the We Get Around Network forum, I know that we've had 93,000 posts, 16,000 topics, and some of them have been lights that hang within the tripod itself.
Yeah.
As a possibility. But frankly, if you're doing other than marketing videos, I mean, if you're doing a marketing video, it's likely that you're going to have a pristine space and the lighting's fine. When are you not going to have great lighting? The building just burned down and you need to document it. So who cares if you go out to the Home Depot and you buy floodlights or whatever it is that you need to light up your space, because the people who are consuming the content could care less that you have Home Depot lights set up in the four corners of a space and they're in your imagery.
Yeah, we did that. We had lights set up on stands in order to overcome some of the areas that we couldn't just put it. Although I had added lights to the top of the camera for those scans, especially in some of the engineering, structural engineering places that we had to scan. We had to add lights to the camera, and I have a whole Velcro system for putting them on top. But you're right, Dana. What do you think? Do you think that AEC and insurance are the growing segments? Do you feel like those are the biggest segments that you see growing right now?
Well, the topic of the show is to help Matterport service providers make more money, and I would rule out fire, flood damage. It's just beyond the expertise of a real estate photographer to try and acquire all those skills for something where you need to be ready to respond 24/7. Much better that the company that's doing the remediation, getting rid of the moisture in a space, goes and buys a Matterport. But I think there's still an opportunity to pick up some business there.